Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to have some Division 14 ranked online gameplay in the flyweight division using Henry Cejudo. And before we get into the actual breakdown of the gameplay, I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone that's been supporting the channel lately. Both the streams and videos have been doing very well, and we're growing now at a good rate. And I'm very thankful for all the comments, and I try to be as interactive as possible and work on the videos you guys would like to see. So that being said, the next video coming out is a Hamzat Chimaev showcase, and I think I've got a John Jones video coming out also in the future. The Hamzat video was requested by a subscriber, so when you do request it, it will take me a couple of weeks, but I will get the video out, and hopefully you guys enjoy. And to give you a bit of backstory into this fight here, this opponent who's in Division 18 at the time, K.A. Humble, was a very good opponent, top 100 player, and as you can see we're one apiece. I beat him earlier on in this season, but the game was fairly laggy, to be honest with you, and he was dominating me on the feet, and I ended up getting a submission victory, to which obviously my opponent wasn't happy. Sent me a couple messages that, you know, he said what he said. I was on stream at the time. Shout out to Scouten who was watching, and yeah, he just wasn't happy with the overall loss, which is, you know, it's fair enough. Can understand he lost his position in the top 100. He wasn't happy. He did apologise for it. So coming into this fight here, I was really looking to trade, to stand and bang and see if my stand-up was at the level it needed to be. I wasn't really looking on taking the fight to the ground unless I had to. I've really been trying to improve on my stand-up, and hopefully you guys can see that in the coming fights. But here early on you can see that we're both trading, and it's a 3-round fight, which is something to take note of. Obviously stamina drop-off isn't going to be as big as a factor as when it's a championship 5-round fight. Also we're in a lighter weight class, so you can absorb a bit more punches, so you can be there for a bit more risky, leave your chin out a bit more, take a couple more shots to the body than if you was at, let's say, middleweight, light heavyweight. But right now I'd say it's fairly even. Here we just got a stun on the leg, I'm pretty sure. As you can see, good movement to rotate away, but my opponent is very good. His stand-up is to a good level, I'd say. Obviously top 100 opponent, he obviously knows what he's doing. But the movement here is starting to pay dividends. You see, rotating away from the cage well. And then my opponent went for a takedown, which is quite surprising. I'm not sure if he went for a like straight to the body or something, which initiated the takedown. I didn't see this coming, to be honest with you. But so when he did get me to the ground, I was thinking, okay, he's gonna play for points here. So I'll go to sprawl, and I'm gonna let my opponent do what he needs to do. You know, do some damage to the body. That's fine. Rack up some control time, but I'm not going to look to move and then have him deny and we stay in this position any longer than we need to. I'm looking to get back to standing as soon as possible. And as you can see there, I was waiting. I've done a good job actually of getting out of there. Normally I just wait. And we're trading here now. I know he's got the control time, so I thought let me just land some punches. As you see, he's going for a 1-2 head kick. We get the stun there, a couple body shots. And if that round lasted a little bit longer, or if I had a little bit more stamina, could have resulted in a knockdown. So we got the stun and we got the leg health event. Obviously my opponent also got the takedown and racked up some control time. Had success on the stand up, to be fair, but going into round 2 I knew my opponent was going to come out a lot more aggressive. I mean, the first round was aggressive enough. It was like fighting in a boxing range pretty much the majority of the time, and whenever we wasn't in boxing range, the 1-2 head kick would come out to play. So I was wary when going into kickboxing range. I was expecting that head kick to come through. We know TJ obviously has great kicks, so it's something that I was trying to be wary of, because, you know, one punch, one kick can really change the whole fight. And right now the fight is fairly 50-50. I'd say that I won round 1, but on the judges' scorecards you never know, just like in real life, anything can happen. But as you can see, I'm trying to intercept with the straight when my opponent's coming in. And that's a very useful tool. The straight's faster than the jab. It will clip him and trigger a good animation. So I always try to use that. Trying to work the leg kicks where possible, but I didn't want to throw too many, especially because, like I said, where you need to know what range you're in, and because I'm in boxing range, it's very dangerous. As you can see there, we get clipped. Use great movement and head movement to get out of a potentially extremely dangerous situation. But now that I've been clipped, obviously my opponent's going to be a lot more aggressive, really probably look for the finish, and it's about me using head movement here and trying to be smart, getting out of the way of these punches and not let the pressure get to me. and if need be wrestle. And look at that 1-2 head kick, it gets me beautifully. My opponent's been trying to use that same combo throughout the whole fight, and it's my fault there, lapse of concentration, and it just shows you what could happen. And after a very close round 1, the round 2 is really edging towards my opponent. As you can see, obviously he's got the stun, and then he's got the knockdown, so on the scorecards definitely winning the round. And at this point I was wondering if my opponent's really going to press for a finish or look for a takedown to rack up control time. But in my head I thought, my opponent's waiting for me to shoot for a takedown. But I really wasn't going to look to initiate any grappling unless I really felt like I had to. So coming into round 3, if I thought that my chin health was way too low, I could initiate grappling exchanges and really look to rack up some control time and hopefully win the fight based off that. But as you can see there, we're forcing him to fight a sort of dog fight here. We've done very well there to get our own stun off, and my opponent's stamina levels, you can see, slightly worse than mine, as he gets another stun there and then works my body. Great work from my opponent though with these combinations. Here comes the head kick again, and look at that. This should be me out of the fight here, but I do a very good job of defending. And unfortunately my opponent runs out of stamina, and we managed to get to full guard. And that was a pivotal moment in the fight, because my opponent, that knee was so beautifully timed, and you've just got to give credit where it's due. And this is what happens when you face the higher ranked opponents. He's done an excellent job there. And yeah, knocked me down. We survived, that's the main thing. Not too long to work with now. I'll take my opponent's back here. And then we opt to get up. So going into round 3, it's definitely 1-1. My head health's a lot less than my opponent's, you see. Respect there. And that's the stats for round 2. My opponent dominated. Could argue a 10-8. And you know, with the judges, like I said, you never know. So coming into round 3, I know I need a massive round in order to turn this fight around. But I also know I can't take too much damage, because my head health, as you can see in the blue corner there in the top right, is not in a great position at all. So I need to be aggressive, but I also need to be smart. I need to pick my shots. I need to know when I can and can't press. And as you can see, this head kick keeps landing on me and landing. That's very dangerous. Gets me in the clinch here, lands the uppercut. And that's one thing I don't like about breaking from the clinch, is that uppercut. It always hits you, and it always does so much damage. But here, as you can see, I'm being a lot more patient, but my opponent's also being a bit reserved as well. Maybe my opponent thought that he's won both rounds leading up to this, or that was a 10-8, and that he's in the pole position to win the fight. And the movement there, great job moving, and then we end up getting the knockdown. And this is big, because now I can really coast this round if need be. I can just look for a takedown, lay in half guard, and probably win the fight, to be honest with you. I think I'm up now, 2 rounds to 1, if the round stays like this. And as you can see, still throwing, and now my opponent's being a lot more aggressive, obviously, because I just got the knockdown. We're ripping to the body, going to the leg, trying to be unpredictable, and we're just flustering my opponent with strikes here, not letting him breathe, because I know that my head health's in such a bad position that I'm trying to make up for it. I'm trying to do as much damage as possible, but I don't just want to headhunt, hence why I'm mixing in body work. But when your head health's quite low and you're in boxing range, if you start working the body, one uppercut, that's it, you're pretty much out of the fight. And the leg work's coming into dividends here. And the reason why I'm taking out the lead leg is so important is because it's easy leg health events later on in the fight, and the power of your opponent's just drained. And we're really teeing off here. This round is extremely dominant. And my opponent, it looks like he just doesn't know what's hit him. The pressure's got to him. It's a beautiful flurry of combinations coming straight at my opponent, and it's just a matter of time. My opponent's forced to switch stances. I'm expecting a big head kick to come soon, but just because of the stamina level, I can really just look to coast this round, get away. We drop my opponent here and we get on top and look for the finish, which we end up getting. So it just shows you can come back from adversity. You've just got to push through it, and this was against an extremely good opponent. Hats off to my opponent. Can't wait to match up with him again, because when I do, we just do have good fights. The scorecard's obviously going to come up, so you can see how the judges scored it. But yeah, just a video showcasing that you can push through adversity, and it's really just the sheer relentless pressure in round 3 that got to him, mixing up, going from the head to the body to the legs, and then when I took out the leg, going to the head. That unpredictability is what really won me the fight, because a lot of people would have given up after that round 2. You know, my opponent had such a dominant round that coming into round 3, any sliver of damage to my head could have knocked me out, but I fought smart, fought aggressive, and I done what I had to do to get the win. So as you can see, here's the stats, and yeah, let me know what you thought of the fight in the comments below, and if there's any videos you'd like to see, let me know. It was 19-19, so 1 apiece going into that. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.